Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fan. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and we're back with Lovecraft Country. It's the penultimate episode, Season 1, Episode 9, Rewind 1921. We'll get to that in just a minute. Let me take care of some business first. I won't get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video at the very end that pops up here. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. If you want to know when I'm be on live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I post up there weekly. Also, all the links to my social media are there. Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tiers on the Patreon. I'm waiting until I hit 1,000 subs before I start taking any money from anybody, because I want to give you guys something if that's the case. And I hit 1,000 subs as my my goal, I guess you could say. I also have a link to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. Wow. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, come on back. This will be a video, and you can comment down below in the comment section. All right. And yes, Joe, I agree with you. That was a powerful fucking ending. And thank you about the thumbnail. Yeah, I've actually taken to taking pictures of my TV now in order to get the thumbnails, because otherwise it's just a pain in the ass trying to find something good to put up there. And I'm choosing it on my own now at this point is what I'm doing. So, oh, wow. So yeah, I mean, thank you, Pen. I try with the thumbnails. So this whole thing, D is cursed, of course. No one knows what to do. Letty lets the cat out of the bag that she has given up Atticus, not Atticus, Titus's pages to Christina already for her getting the mark of Cain and becoming invulnerable. So they have no bargaining chip there. And Ruby's like, well, Christina will help me. So she calls over Christina, and Christina says, yeah, she goes, I can help her. We know that Lancaster was the one that did this, so we just need to get him to take it off. Otherwise, we need the book of names in order to do this. And they're like, well, there's going to be a problem because Lancaster's dead. He died in a gas explosion in front of Letty's house. She's like, well, shit. Well, we're going to need the book of names then. And yeah, so that is kind of a pisser there. And Christina, dressed as William in William's flesh suit, I guess you could say, goes over to the police station, sees that Lancaster, they're trying to bring him back. And so the reason why he had those weird body pieces, the way his body looked weird, is because he literally was being pieced back together again after every time he died. And so they were using, basically they're killing black people and using those parts in order to piece him back together again. But it wasn't working this time. And Christina informs him, she goes, well, yeah, the reason why is because it can only work so many times before you actually have to face real death. And he was like, and we see him die, and she's like, yeah, that's pretty much it at that point. So as they're looking around for some way of saving D at this point, Christina basically says that she can rewind the curse, the timing of it, I guess you could say, to the beginning, but D is still going to die from it. So she does that, gets the curse rewound, and well, just before that happens, who walks in but Hippolyta? And Hippolyta's like, D's sick? And they're like, where the fuck have you been? So they rewind the curse a little bit, and they're like, well, the book of names burned up in the Freeman house back in Tulsa in 1921. That was the last place anybody saw it. And so Hippolyta's like, well, we got to go back to the observatory. We need to use that as a time travel machine. And they're like, what? And she goes, yeah. She goes, the time travel machine. We need to go back to 1921 Tulsa, grab the book, save D, that kind of thing. And they're like, well, it's broken. And she goes, I can fix it. Well, you're going to need the key. Don't need the key. Got this. And she holds up her little doodad that she had in her arm from when she visited Earth 501. She says there's multiverses out there. So we get sci-fi, we get horror, we get all kinds of stuff in this show. Honestly, we don't deserve this show. Really, we don't. Just because of how good the there's so much shit in here that you really should be watching it. Get over your fucking racism if you need to, and watch the show. That's all I can say. Um, yeah, that's if that's the only reason why you're watching it is because there's black people that are starring in it. Fuck you. It's a good show. Um, that's all I'm gonna say in that regards to it. So yeah, it's she's saying there's multiverses out there, that she was on Earth 501, that she spent 200 years on this Earth through different lives. She could have done anything that she wanted. She could have been anybody that she wanted to be and gotten immense knowledge. And she didn't. She turned it down in order to come back and be with her daughter and save her daughter, essentially. And so they go back to the observatory, and she's the one that actually holds open. She has to think about where they are. So she gets that Earth, our Earth, Tulsa, 1921, at a hotel. She's got a picture that Montrose has, um, and sends them back to that portal. And she has to hold the portal open at this point. Um, yeah, it's it, I don't know. I mean, it's bringing up all kinds of PTSD, I guess you could say, in Montrose at this point, because he lived through all of this as a child. And we find out as he's going through all this that his dad knew that he was gay and tried to beat it out of him. And we see that at one point. Uh and that he had a boyfriend uh that he actually went to go and tell that they couldn't see each other anymore. And he actually feels responsible for getting his boyfriend killed, because that's the night that the Tulsa massacre happened. And his friend Timothy was the first one to get shot. So yeah, so he has a lot of bad connotations with being with being gay and being out and all that kind of stuff. So this is a lot of Montrose dealing with his shit as well. And also we get that they need to break into the house essentially and find the book. And Letty gets the opportunity in a way of basically when a truck of white people show up, white guys, and start shooting at her. And she runs down the block and gets helped by the Freemans. And yeah. And also Dora's parents, which is Tick's mom, by the way, her family as well, which live next door to each other. And when she's inside, um, looking for, basically when they're trying to hold down the homestead, if you will, against these white men coming in and trying to kill them, she's looking for the book as well. And that's when Grandma Tick's grandmother shows up and basically says, "What the fuck are you looking for?" She goes, "I know you're not from here. Something was off about you. Your shoes don't look right." And so Letty comes clean and says, "I'm from the future. We're looking for the book of names. We need it to save your son and your grandson. Your grandson and your great grandson," is what she says. And so she gives her the book. She goes, "Oh, we're not going to make it, are we?" And Letty just kind of holds her head down a little bit and is like, "No." She basically doesn't say anything, but what she says in body language makes up for it and says, yes, they're not going to make it at this point. So Tick's grandmother gives her the book and says, "These are the words also to open the book. I've never opened it before. As long as you're not going to do anything bad with it, it's yours." And basically Letty watches her burn to death because she's got the mark of Cain. So fire isn't going to touch her at all, which is a fucking horrifying scene. Also, Montrose comes clean to Tick and says, "I might not be your father. George is most likely your father." And he goes, "How in the fuck do you not know this? That if you're my father or not?" And he goes, "Well, the three of us were kind of close after this." So we kind of get the idea there was threesomes going on and all this stuff. And yeah. And I agree with you, Joe Greer. Yes, played by the great Regina Taylor. Yes, who played Tick's grandmother. And fuck, man. I mean, just her burning up in the flames there as Letty just stands there and watches. It's just fuck. That's all I can say on that. And so they get back. So both before George and excuse me, not George, before Montrose and Tick can go back to the hotel, Montrose is taken off to go presumably interfere with his younger self. And they've already been told by Hippolyta they can't interfere with anything. If they interfere with anything, basically they create an alternate universe. She can't find them. They're fucked, kind of thing. And he goes off supposedly to go and warn George about being shot in Artem, but he's not. He's actually going to see if he can save Thomas, his his young boyfriend there. And of course it doesn't work that way. Tick goes back to stop him, of course. And then they have that whole conversation about, are you sure what you're doing is right? If you save Thomas, you could fuck everything up. And he goes, you better be right about it. And he basically gives his dad the choice of whether or not to do that. And his dad doesn't, of course, or Montrose doesn't. And then we see, the guys pull up, they shoot Thomas in the head. They've got young Montrose surrounded. And who shows up but George and Dora and on bikes, and they start beating the crap out of the white guys. But the tide turns and the story changes, and the white guys start basically beating them down, and they're going to kill them. And that's where they remember the story that there was some mysterious guy who came in with a baseball bat and started beating the fuck out of these white guys and saving them, and basically saying the line, "I've got you, kid." And Tick realizes he's the one that has to go in there because there's a baseball bat at his feet. And he goes in, saves them, says, "I got you, kid," and walks off. So, so they get back to the hotel. The portal's still barely open. It's fluctuating. Something's wrong. Letty's not there. Tick jumps through, and Hippolytus like saying, "I can't hold the portal open any longer," and the portal closes. Yeah, so Montrose, basically his worst fears are there. He has to relive everything all over again. He's got a grand view of everything from the hotel. He looks down the street and he can see the destruction of Tulsa happening. As Tick is helping Hippolyta kind of get the gumption to reopen the portal, and she does. She holds it open, and Letty takes her fucking sweet ass time walking down the street. That's all I can say. I was just kind of going, yes, I know you're invulnerable. I know you had just watched a woman burn to death in front of you, but at the same time, you knew there's a time limit on the portal and maybe the hotel standing. Fucking haul ass, get to the portal as fast as you can. Hippolyta is so focused on getting that portal open that her hair actually turns blue. And Letty and Montrose finally show up, pop in through the portal, and Hippolyta lets go of the of the portal and lets it close. And that's where we leave off on the episode. And it's like, fuck. That's all I can say. I mean, this is the second HBO series where we've seen the Tulsa massacre happen, of course. And yes, the first one was the Watchmen one. I agree with you, Penn. Watchmen could have done this. I'm not a fan of the Watchmen series. I am not. It just wasn't a fan of it at all. And this one, I'm a big fan of Lovecraft Country. I really am. So yeah, I don't know. This one, I feel, I mean, we're both horrific, showing this. And the fact that schools don't even fucking in the United States don't even fucking teach this to anybody, that don't tell anybody all this. Grade schools don't tell anybody this. It's one of those ugly, I guess, secrets you could say that, is never taught in schools, which is a fucking travesty, quite honestly. I don't think I found out about it until I was in college, is when I want to say. Yeah. So yeah, it's just fucking deplorable, quite honestly. Um, but going back to the episode here, uh, we got a great use of time travel, of course, uh, PTSD, what it's like, with this person who's gay in 1920s with a very strict household, and he's even trying to make excuses for his dad beating the shit out of him, uh, and that, I deserved it and all this kind of stuff. So we had a lot of gravitas, I guess you could say, in this episode, as well as sci-fi, horror, both, you know, a horror from the massacre happening, and then just horror in general from the curse and the spells and Lancaster and all that kind of stuff as well. Um, So yeah. Oh, and also, I mean, Ruby finds out that yes, Christina is gonna kill Tick because she needs all his blood in order to become immortal during the autumnal equinox. And she just kind of says it matter of factly, like, yeah, I need all his blood and it's gonna kill him. But I need, my father and all his friends have shown me that I need to keep living for first, kind of thing, is what she says. And yeah, Christina did not lie to her at all. She came clean to her about everything. I mean, she told her matter of factly, but it was so cold, so clinical in a way that it's just one of those things you're just going, fuck, lady. Yeah, you need to get out a little bit more. Yeah, I agree with you, Penn. Schools do gloss over embarrassing parts of history or just omit them altogether. So, yeah. And I don't blame you, Jay Hicks, that you didn't finish Watchmen. I did. I covered it, and yeah, wasn't a fan. So, and I agree that Penn, that Letty was traumatized and the reason why she was walking, but at the same time, I'm just like, you gotta fucking run, motherfucker, run, because the portal's gonna close. So, yeah. I can't wait for next week. At the same time, I'm gonna be saddened that next week is the final episode in the series, in the season. Excuse me, not the series, the season. I hope it's not the series finale, because that would piss me off. If anything, this is a series that needs to be renewed. If and I haven't heard anything about renewal at this point, which I'm kind of shocked, quite honestly. I really want to. So what's going to happen right now is Time Warner Media is what they're called, or Warner Media. The Warner Media is what they're called now. Is going to go through another upheaval stage right now. So with the whole AT&T takeover and everything, there is a huge upheaval that's going to happen. There's going to be more rounds of layoffs. Most likely, there's going to be a tightening of schedules and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff that has just been announced that HBO Max is greenlit or doing, most likely isn't going to happen the way the way we think it's going to. So I'm hoping this is not on the chopping block. This is a great show. This is something that needs to continue on. It really does. I mean, Watchmen isn't continuing on because they don't know where to go with it. And Lindelof says he's not going to be involved in any kind of, second season or anything like that. And I'm like, good. I'm happy with that. But yeah, Lovecraft Country needs to keep going on. We need to find out more. I mean, come on. We got one episode left. What's going to happen with Gia? I mean, they just kind of left her there, that she's in Chicago. Okay, so what is she doing in Chicago? Now that Tick told her to go away, I'm pretty sure she's not going to go away. Also, we've got the autumnal equinox coming up with Christina, and hope we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Of course, maybe Gia is going to come in and save him at the last minute, and change that whole destiny, which I'm kind of fairly sure that's what's going to happen. Dee, of course, needs to get her curse removed. Is Christina going to do that? Are they going to give her the book of names in order to do this? Are they just going to keep the book of names to themselves? Because I mean, they're going to need they need that phrase in order to open the book. So in order to use it. But then again, they can't read the book either. So they're going to need someone who can actually read the fucking book because they don't know anybody who reads the language in order to they're trying to decipher it, but they're very bad at it at the same time. There's so much stuff that needs to be resolved in the final episode that you can't just have it. It's not going to get wrapped up in the final episode. You need to have a season 2 out of this. Yeah. You really need to have a season 2 out of this. And then also we need to find out what happens with George. Is George going to come back from the dead? Are they going to, I mean, now that Hippolyta's back, is she time traveler now? Is she, there to take care of Dee? What's going to happen? Can she read the book? I mean, she's had so many lifetimes. Maybe she can actually read the language. We don't know. But then again, that's supernatural. She's technology, I guess you could say. One supernatural, one science. So where do you go for that? I mean, as it's said so often in literature that if you have science that is advanced enough, it could appear as magic to lesser civilizations. So maybe that's what this is all about too. Maybe Hippolyta comes in and goes, "Oh, that stuff in the book is not magic; it's just science." And here, I could decipher that. So maybe I'm onto something. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Again, this is all speculation. This is all shit that's just coming out of my head. I don't know for sure. I'm just throwing it out there. If anyone else has any better ideas or suggestions, throw them down in the comment section. I am definitely interested in hearing about what everyone else has to say about this. Don't go too far off on the deep end, though. I mean, you know, you know who you are out there. All right. So, everyone else enjoying this season so far? I mean, we only got one episode left, so hopefully you are. What else do I have going on? Well, tomorrow I'm off. Tuesday is going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'll figure something out at the moment. I'll put it on the schedule when I figure it out. Wednesday I'm going to be off. Thursday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? Again, don't know what I'm doing yet. I'll figure something out. Usually it comes to me in a fever dream or in the shower or at work in the middle of doing something. It usually happens that way. Friday will be the contest results for The Boys. If you're wondering what the contest is, go back to the last episode of The Boys, and which is from Friday there, and you'll see what the contest rules are and what the contest prize is. It's just a t-shirt, so nothing fancy, but pretty easy to do. Saturday will be Saturday Morning Blast Off, and then of course Sunday we come back around again to Lovecraft Country, the season finale. And yeah, hopefully we get some good stuff out of that. And I'm sure we will. It seems like they're going to go out fairly well, and most likely leave us at the cliffhanger, probably give us a what the fuck moment, and also give us the my god, you left it on a cliff, yeah, I can't wait a year for this shit. That's what we're gonna get. So thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up right here. And if you like what's there, hit that subscribe button down below here. And while you're down there, hit that like button and the share button as well down there. If you want to know when I'll be on live again next, you get the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com, take a look at the schedule. Also, take a look at all the links to my social media. So Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. Also, the links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. There we go. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. I know those of you on the East Coast is getting late for you, or already was late for you, and it's even later now. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday for Is It Worth My Time? Again, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but we will find out. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that you need to have that portal. You got to really concentrate in order to focus on what kind of portal you're going to, where you're going, and make sure it's the right Earth that you're going to. Because I fucking hate when I don't get to the right Earth that I'm going to in the time travel portal. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, and good night.